Hello, Blue Justin here, still Justin, still not Blue, and it's time for the weekly haul. Now, this one is going to be quite short. I know I say that every time, even though I've only got a few titles, I manage to spin it out for ages, but given that I didn't feel very well last week, and when I was doing the editing and stuff like that, which is why it got delayed, I'm still not 100%, and luckily for me, I've only got a few titles to do anyway. So there are some nice ones I think you want to look at. Um, I'm going to hopefully not go on about them too much, but hopefully you'll enjoy what I have got to show you anyway. So, in the words of Lord Flashheart from Blackadder, let's do it. Right, okay, that wasn't an introduction meant to imply that I actually had any It Blu-rays or 4Ks this week. I do, but they're not new arrivals. Um, One day I shall show them off on when I reach the eye of my collection. It would help if I did the C's to I first, wouldn't it? Okie dokie. Right, starting with something that it's been re-released this week. Not everybody's favourite film by a long way, but it was always considered one of the hardest novels to ever turn from the novel into a film, and that is Dune. This is the Arrow 4K steelbook. You sort of knew I was going to say that last bit, didn't you? I don't look down on it as much as a lot of people, but I think that is a lot down to the fact I have read the books, and I really apologise for the motorbike rider with a very loud exhaust outside. I've read the book. I really think this is one of those movies that reading the books certainly helps a lot. If you want to try and translate it to on screen, there are so many things that were done in this. Even though he's a great director, it's almost impossible to move from book to screen and try and pack them all in. It's a very, very thick book to start with. It's like one of those, it's 2 or 3 times the thickness of The Hobbit, and they turned that into 3 films, didn't they? I mean, okay, 2. And they added on the last one because it was totally unconnected. But this really would need, you know, the whole TV miniseries treatment. Well, I know it's had it, but yeah, I shall stop jabbering on, but and just go straight to the back about the fact it has it's 4K dual format steelbook. So we've got the 4K has been restored from the original elements. So if you do like the film, at least it's going to get the best treatment it has been receiving, and I'd expect that of Arrow. If you're going to do it good. If you're gonna do it right, etc. Apologies. It's got Dolby Vision, HDR10 compatible. It's got the original uncompressed stereo audio as well as the DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. It's got subs, obviously, for the hard of hearing. It's got a new commentary. It's got another new commentary. But I will just show you the back here quickly to say, look at all. I don't know if you can freeze it and read it if you need to, but just look at the tiny print and all the stuff that they've included. Just tons. And we got the special effects, costumes, all sorts. And then, as you saw there on the bottom, there's a bonus disc, disc 3, which is another. This one's a brand new featurette again, exploring the merchandise created to promote the film. That's an unusual take on extras, which I like the idea of. I'd like to see that. So there we go. What else have we got on this one? And there's a brand new featurette on the music, and there's interviews with the guitarist, who apparently is from Toto. I didn't know that. And interview with makeup effects artists and two of the production coordinators. So getting quite deep into the making of how it was done. Like I said, I know it wasn't as popular as it hoped to be, even with being brought to the forefront by having Sting in it, as well as good actors like Kyle MacLachlan. I don't think I should be going into the backstory or the novel itself, because it's just really complex, and that's why it's so difficult to turn into a film that works. I am really looking forward to the new version of the film that they're doing for this, and I must admit, from the trailers, I think the new version is not only going to be more accessible to new watchers than people who've read the book. It's actually going to be full stop better. The knife fighting with shields bit, etc. It just works. You have to read the books to actually know what I'm talking about there. But story-wise, it just has to be all about control of being able to travel around the universe, and the only place you can get the necessary materials to do that is this one very hard to control planet called Arrakis, which essentially is such a sandy planet. It is Dune, and the materials produced by large, and I mean large, snake-like creatures, sandworms. But beyond that, it's far too complicated and political to really understand unless you've read the book and watched the film at the same time. So anyway, I'm looking forward to rewatching it in high quality, but I'm also really looking forward to watching the new one to see what the differences are. And I thought, by the way, I had ordered a shirt so I could do that, but I found out I hadn't, so it's same shirt week again. Right, moving on to one that I ordered from Germany this week. One of my favourite films of all time. Now, I don't know whether it's considered brilliantly shot. But I know the lead actor is absolutely stunning and received a posthumous Oscar, and that is A Knight's Tale. No, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that in German, but at least if you've got the disc, it says it's A Knight's Tale, and then put it into the German below. As you can probably tell, I've turned the reversible cover around already, so it doesn't have that horrible great ratings marker down here. But I'm sure some people don't get the interaction of medieval setting and modern music and overtones, like having the London Eye in the background in when it's in the parts when it's set in London, but in a medieval type design, so it's made out of wicker and things like that. But to me, it meshes perfectly. Now, the I must admit, it's only on rewatching that a number of times that I have realised just what a quality cast is in this. When you look at them and you go, oh, actually, they've been in such and such as well, haven't they? And I mean, obviously, the late, great Heath Ledger trying to get into the mindset is a lot more positive character, so he was a lot more positive. I really don't want to go on about it. But no, it is supporting characters. I mean, we've got Paul Bettany. Is it Paul Bettany? Yeah. Who is Vision now, isn't he? As well as the voice in the Marvel films, and a lot more. I can't remember off the top of my head what the characters are, or who the actors are, but there's one of those things where you go, oh, I've seen them in that, and they were really good as well. If you haven't seen it, give it a try. The soundtrack is incredible. The whole plot is great. It's really uplifting. I love it. I even actually, I know it's in German, and obviously it does have an English soundtrack because it was shot in English, but it was actually one of the films I found on the TV. It was being transmitted on TV. I was on holiday once. I think I was in somewhere like Spain or something like that, and it was therefore being transmitted in Spanish, and I knew it so well and could enjoy it even without it being in English. I actually watched it for about 20 minutes or so, easily following what was going on, remembering, and not even really caring that it wasn't in the language I understood practically more than 2 words of, apart from how to order a beer. I do think it's a shame that well, I probably should have paid more. It might be my fault, but the German Blu-ray unfortunately does not include the deleted scenes and extended elements like the DVD I have does, and they are really, really good. And if I'm honest, I have to keep the DVD so I can watch them when I want to annoy myself. Some of the bits they cut, I can agree that they're not necessarily necessary. They're repeating the same sort of thing in the same way that Lethal Weapon cut out one of the introductions to Riggs. It was because it was repeating an introduction, and director Donner, he chose to choose the one that he preferred, but at the same time, I love watching the one that he not necessarily did. I like the other one as well. It's the same thing here with getting the backstory of, or the introduction piece that Paul Bettany does. There's an alternative one to set at a later stage in the film, and the director decided he'd done one really cool one. It was obviously he was really good at it, so he didn't need to do it again. I'd have loved to have seen it actually in there though. So yeah, the actual extras on this one are actually very, very light, and if you're going to get it and you want the extras, I haven't got the information off the top of my head, so it might be just above my head, but I can't think of if the UK Blu-ray has them either. It might not, and if it doesn't, then you're missing out on a lot, and they have given a disservice by not putting the deleted scenes on, and I've probably done myself a disservice by saving a few pounds by getting the German import. Moving on, this one's one that I have not seen. Sort of like a military thriller type thing about whether or not they should use remote drones. I think that's the implication by the eye in the sky bit. It's got Helen Mirren. It's got Alan Rickman. I mean, that's a good cast already. I mean, if they're the main characters. And it's got special features about the morals and the perspectives and the interviews with the cast. Actually, that's going to be very interesting if we are talking about attack drones and the Middle East and things like that. And do you risk harming innocents to save more lives or not? I'm not even going to go there, all right? But no, I think it'd be an interesting film, and it's a very good price at the moment. It's quite easy to pick up, cheap. And following on from last week's pickups by Black House, which was the Orphan Vampire one, that I was getting as in the same sequence or series, not series of films, but as put out by Spellbound Pictures, as I've looked up since then. The Dracula's Daughter, Dracula's Fiancée ones, usually in French. This is one that I have now done, which is Fascination. This one's about a thief hiding out in a chateau, holding the occupants at gunpoint, but then realises the two maids are not only deadlier than imagined, but are gatekeepers to a ring of women with the thirst for blood. Again, I think a lot of these ones put out with the Black House cover label are by Jean Rollin, and this one is supposed to be one of his better ones, at least according to the overview, but then again, they're not going to say this rubbish piece of work by, are they? This one again is specifically French language with English subs, and again it's one of those ones they decided to do the back side sideways. Okay, landscape, but still rubbish in my opinion. However, the cover is reversible. You lose all the information on the back, but is that upside down? No, it isn't. You lose all the information on the back, but at least when I turn it around, it won't be me going, oh, for goodness sake, that looks stupid sideways. So I might be doing that. This one, I'm quite looking forward to seeing, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have bought it. They're all about the same price at Amazon, which is about just over half the release price, whatever. They're not bad. It's good. So, and sadly less than they are on all the other sites. So I can't support anybody else really. I'm not going to pay out more when I don't need to. And moving on, I've got another one, and this one is the Living Dead Girl. Now, you thought I'd have checked the title before I powered that, wouldn't you? That would have been sensible. Again, we've got a sideways description on the back, as you can tell. This is why I've turned it sideways so I can read. This one's an earthquake with a toxic waste spill disturbing her grave. A deceased girl comes to life to walk the earth again, and it's another one of Jean Rollin, with his, this time, a macabre tale of zombie carnage. And then after she rises from the tomb, she hungers for flesh and blood. Sets out to find her childhood friend and blood sister Helene, and who decides to help satisfy Catherine's bloodlust by luring people to their lair. This is another one with only French language and English subtitles, with a reversible sleeve. As I said on my last video, I think there's one that I have that does also have an English dub on it as well, but 90% of them appear. Okay, I hate being inaccurate as a statistician, saying 90% when I'm actually talking about of the few that I've actually got, probably only about 70 or 80%. But I'm getting the feeling that the company isn't making any big effort to make sure that the languages are translated or anything, but it doesn't need it for me anyway. As long as the films are interesting and worth putting out, I'm quite happy to increase my Black House collection. In fact, I've got another one on the way, which I believe is one of the more highly regarded ones, but you will have to wait for that. So, as I said, I'm keeping it short this week. Still not feeling fantastic, but wanted to be able to at least produce something for you. And one of the reasons also there hasn't been a lot massively out this week, and some of the stuff that I was expecting to be out early next week, which might have arrived early, therefore it would be on this video, has either been delayed for some time, or, and this is really getting my goat, they've decided to release the Blu-ray and 4K on early next week, and then they've delayed the Steelbook for an extra month. And I'm thinking, you knew about this in advance. Why? Get your acts together. Unless you are trying to make me go out and buy one and then rebuy it on Steelbook, because even with my overactive wallet, that is not going to happen. What will happen is that I will go to another country and buy their Steelbook and won't buy it at all from you. Okay? So rant over. Right, I shall settle up and just hope that you are having a better time than I am with regards to your health. And please keep on enjoying the TV, the movies, everyone's YouTube channel, and if you can get to the cinema, do it. Cheers.